Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Monday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be here with you guys on the first Monday of November 2020. Believe it or not, we've made it to November already. We have one more month, and that will complete the year of 2020. And what a year 2020 has been. I'm sure we can all agree to that. Well, I have another great show planned for your viewing and listening pleasure this evening. November is considered the month of gratitude. And each and every night during the month of November, I'll have some of the most amazing guests ever to share their stories of gratitude. A lot of these people have overcome many obstacles in their lives to succeed, and they'll be here to share their stories of how they overcame all of their obstacles to become the person they are today. Sitting in the co-host seat tonight is no stranger to the show. I just love her. Believe it or not, it was just a year ago when we met, and now we're like sisters and brothers. I'm always so glad to see her. She's an educator. She's always continuing her education, but most importantly, she's always a great opinion and a great voice on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back our co-host, the amazing Miss Alicia L. Ross.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, it is a chat. It is so awesome to be here with you. I am grateful to be here with you. I'm grateful to be back on the show. And I look forward to tonight's discussion because we know about how important tonight is in addition to the next couple of days coming up. So thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, you know what I love more than anything, back in September, you and Dr. Carol Alajala were talking about the fact that we need to come together. We need to have more unity. We need to have a more sounder government. You ladies really did lay the foundation for the discussion that is what will be tomorrow is election day. And so many people right now are suffering with the election. I didn't even know there's a disorder, like an election disorder that people are suffering from. But you ladies really did set the groundwork of what we were to expect during this campaign season. So I thank you both.
Thank you. We're grateful. We're grateful. And I know Carol is as well. Yes.
So how have you been? What's new? What's going on in your world?
Oh gosh, I am actually trying not to be stressed out, as Pariston has mentioned.
Weston is. Yeah, he is. Poor thing. Yeah. Yes.
But just trying to continue to move forward during this time. I can't believe it's been 8 months since we have been temporary new normal, right?
Yes.
So just trying to take advantage of the time, in between honoring those that my loved ones who actually have passed away even recently, and spending time therefore just caring for family, friends, trying to stay in contact as much as possible. Looking forward to going to see my mama and my folks on the East Coast. I don't know.
Well, you know what? That's a question I had for you. You are a New Yorker, and you are very much a holiday-driven young lady, a very close-knit family. So now I'm curious: will Thanksgiving be via Zoom, or will you have to go, as they say, and hug your mama's bosoms? So you got to go hug your mama's bosoms. I know.
Yes, I have to. I miss her so much, and my other family back east also. I think what I'm going to do is probably do Christmas, especially because of all the recent things that are happening in our country and around the world, with Rona. So I'm going to give it a couple more weeks and then go and just spend some time and bring in the new year and have a good time with my mama.
Yeah, well, I know one thing. I think it was either the mayor of New York or the governor of New York was saying that you have to submit a COVID test if you're coming to New York. And if not, you have to quarantine for 14 days. And, I don't know. I'm wondering, in order for us to get this country back to normal, would that have to be something that everybody would have to do? Is, to submit that you are COVID free?
You know what? I don't know. Mom is she retired down to Maryland now, but I do have my aunt and my cousins in New York. Seeing next year, we're going to have a big celebration, hopefully.
Okay.
But when I think about, so therefore, I know there are some states that have those restrictions and some states do not. I don't know. I don't think Maryland does at this time.
Okay.
But I know we do, right? So if I leave and come back, I'm supposed to potentially quarantine. I don't know about making some of these things a mandate, quite honestly, chat. I've been struggling with that. I've been struggling with it about mandated tests, mandated quarantine. But honestly, I think I will, out of consideration for myself and my mom and my family back east, I probably will get a test before I go, and then
Mm-hmm.
come back. But we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, we do need to acknowledge the passing of two greats over the weekend. On Saturday, we had two legends to pass away. The first one that we want to acknowledge is the death of Bishop, minister, and gospel music star Bishop Rance Allen. He passed away at the age of 71. Rance Allen was considered one of the most world-renowned gospel artists, known as the father of contemporary gospel music. Bishop Allen had a unique vocal ministry and range that was incredible. Of course, huge in the Church of God in Christ and in Christianity, period. He reigned supreme in that. And so we do want to send our thoughts and prayers out to his family. The Rance Allen Group was started by he and his brothers, Tom and Steve, in 1968. And probably one of my favorite songs, Something About the Name Jesus, is how I was connected to Rance Allen and knew who he was. So yes, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Bishop Rance Allen. Yes,
Yes, that is one of my favorites also. As I'm thinking about it and singing it in my head, I love that song.
Yes, it is a beautiful song. And then for all of you all that are James Bond fans, we lost actor Sean Connery. As you guys all know, the Scottish-born actor rose to international savoir-faire, international savoir-faire. That's how you say it. Being known as the secret agent James Bond. And he successfully had a decade-long career in Hollywood. He passed away at the age of 90. He was living in the Bahamas and he died in the Bahamas. And he did 7 Bond films, I think it was. Am I right?
I think it was 7 Bond films. And I am somewhat of a Bond fan, but probably more so of a fan of his. He was regal all of the years he was here on Earth. And I appreciate, looking at him. He was great eye candy, no matter what age he was, and no matter my age. And obviously a great actor.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Sir. I'm like, Sean Connery. That's a tongue twister, but it's Sir Sean Connery. Yes, and he was in 7 different Bond films. All right. Well, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of both those legends. Well, here we go. Every day we have to give the COVID-19 update numbers. And on Saturday, I thought I was going to pass out. Did you see how many new cases we had here in the state of Illinois? It was like the highest total. Oh, it was almost, was it over 7,000?
I think it was actually 9,000.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, here we go today. Illinois public health officials reported 6,222 newly confirmed cases of COVID-19. Unfortunately, we had 20 additional deaths. The statewide positivity rate for cases as percentage of a total test for the past 7 days is now at 8.1%. There was 68,118 tests reported in the past 24 hours of when I pulled this story. The state has now reported 423,502 cases since the pandemic began, and we have now seen a total of 9,810 fatalities. And
Mm.
so we are now seeing a second wave of COVID coming through the Illinois area. As we all know, there's no indoor dining at restaurants now. Just doing things now is just so different. Just in many different ways. And this is really hurting our restaurant industry. But then people are out still doing things they have no business doing. And I know people from a couple of weeks ago that were someplace doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing, and now a couple of people are not feeling well. So I mean,
Wow.
what do you think about all this? And you are you still in classroom or you remotely?
No, I am remote. I am
Okay.
remote at least until the end of the semester at this where I teach, and I'm glad about that. There's still, I think number one of the things is I think people have COVID fatigue, right? And so it's been 8 months. Yeah, all of us do, right? All of
Yes.
us, we have COVID fatigue. And so we're like, oh my gosh, we're anxious to get out. All of the holidays are coming up now, right? People who celebrate Halloween, people who celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, all of them are coming up now, New Year's Eve.
And don't
And
forget Kwanzaa. I'm so sick of people forgetting Kwanzaa. Don't leave Kwanzaa out.
I will
Right.
leave Kwanzaa out.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm a Kwanzaa person,
That's right.
right?
Don't leave Kwanzaa out.
Right. 7 days of celebration.
Yes.
Exactly. But I think what's happening is that people are getting fatigued, and therefore they're getting tired, and they have laxed some of the precautions that they were taking previously. Now is not the time to do it, because we are those states who are in colder environments, right? We're going back inside, although here, of course, in Chicagoland, we're going to have 60s and 70s this week.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the norm, right? Yes, but that's not the norm, so we have to be diligent. We have to continue to eat as healthy as possible. No one's saying anyone has to be a vegan or vegetarian.
Right.
Just make sure you're eating the foods that keep you strong, Also, the vitamins, if you take vitamins, just continue to take them. And then just be very careful. You have to do the social distancing. You have to mask up, and then you have to wash your hands thoroughly. You have to use the hand sanitizers, the ones that they're recommending, right? And I know it's going to make our hands a little dry. I had a moment earlier today because I was in and out all day today. And so I was washing my hands and I was like, oh, my hands feel dry. So I was like, all right, it's time to, lotion up, Vaseline up, whatever you do, because you don't want that to be an issue either.
No, you do not. You're absolutely right. We'll go through our demo a little later on what they need to do, but you said that absolutely perfectly. Well, that's funny you mentioned Halloween. Normally, in normal circumstances, I would either give a Halloween party or a Day of the Dead party. And yesterday and today would be the celebration of the Day of the Dead. And, because of COVID, there was no celebration this year. I actually trick-or-treated my own self and, that type of thing. Right. I tricked and treated my own self. But you have to do that sometime. But now, speaking of in New York, a party in Brooklyn had 400 people, broke up after the sheriff was called to the party. 24 hours later, the sheriffs broke up a party that had 550 people at it in the Bronx. And so we have been seeing parties all over the places. I've been seeing weddings and other celebrations and things like that. And so are people throwing caution to the wind, you think? Or, because that's dangerous to me to have that many people in one place.
It is definitely dangerous. I don't know if people are starting to think, oh, we'll do herd immunity. But if they look at some of the countries that tried to do that, like Sweden, they actually realized that wasn't the best thing to do. So we can't, people have got to be careful. It's too much. It's too much. We have to be careful. I know of weddings that have happened within the past 8 months. And they were a social distance as much as possible. They had masks on. And of course, their numbers weren't as great as they could have been. So they did all they did all the steps they could do for safety, for everyone's safety.
Right.
And again, it's a temporary new normal. It is not the new normal it's not the new normal, but
Right.
it's temporary. And if we can just move within what is temporary, have if it's still warm outside, have a limited gathering, of people, make sure you have on your mask. But 400, 500 people, that's a concert.
That's a petri dish. That's a petri dish, my darling.
Right.
That's a breeding ground for right. Yeah. No, that's a breeding ground for bacteria, germs, all of that. I only want to dine outdoors. I only want to dine in open spaces. So I'm
Yes.
not, yeah. So that makes good sense. All right. Well, we're exactly 1 day away from Election Day. Tomorrow's the big day. Election Day is always November 3rd. Polls open at 6 a.m. and they close at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you've not mailed your ballot in, please do not mail that ballot in, you guys. You can drop it off at a polling place tomorrow. Or do this, just vote while you're there. Don't worry about it. We don't want any drama with your mail-in ballot not being counted, correct?
Correct. Because there's so many things I could say about that. But, you can still register, but you can register online and then go to vote, right? But you cannot mail anything in at this stage, because we don't want, no matter whom you're voting for, we do not want your vote not to be counted.
That's right. Oh, and it's a correction. Not register online. Tomorrow it can be in person and you vote right there. And you must have ID. You must have ID. You register right there and you vote right there in person.
Okay, in person. I apologize. In
That's
person.
All right. That's all right.
Right. Have the right ID, because I've been in places I have my wrong ID and it's like, oh man.
Oh yeah, I was somewhere Saturday and didn't have my state ID, and they wouldn't even let me use my debit card for a cup of coffee. Isn't that something? So right. And they said that they're requiring that now because of people with the mask, and even some places will let you remove the mask.
Really?
Some places require you to make you right. And then here's the deal. If you have like Apple Pay or any of those on your phone is not going to recognize you. So you would have to take it down in the store for your phone to recognize you. So now you have to swipe and they need to make sure it's you.
That's true. I'm a new Apple user, so my mind just is like, huh? But but you're right. That's true.
See that? Very good. All right. So both Trump and Biden are bidding big, or they're hoping to bid big in Pennsylvania. They're spending their final days crisscrossing the state. They both are in Wisconsin tonight. Trump is having a rally in Kenosha, Wisconsin tonight. Traffic is gridlocked. It's down to the wire. And I know you and I are going to tell people later on in the show what they need to do to get ready for tomorrow. But what do you think about everything that's going on right now?
As I think one of the things is people need to realize this, obviously, and most of us do. This is not a typical election. This is not a normal thing. Think about everything that's happening in our society. Most of us, there are few, have never lived through a pandemic. We have a pandemic. We have public display of people who are treating, the people in the Black community and the brown community, as well as in the gay and lesbian community, just wrongly. People are being killed. And it's back to back, and it's being filmed. So you have all of these tensions that are happening in our country. And tomorrow we're supposed to either cast our ballot or a ballot will be counted for those who voted early. And we need to just be careful, because there is so much going on. I mean, I received several warnings, not warnings, from outside people, but from groups on how to plan and prepare tomorrow, and what to do and what not to do. what to expect and what not to expect and what to do just in case. I've never received that.
Me neither. I've received a list of stock up now. Don't go out tomorrow unless you're going to vote. Be prepared. And then if you look at major metropolises, they're boarding up all the businesses. And so that's my question to you. Do you think we're going to have civil unrest no matter who wins this election tomorrow night? Do you think that's what it'll be?
I'm praying that it's not going to be, and then therefore I'm also praying that it's not going to be as bad. But with, when we think about what's been happening in the past 8 months alone, and the fact that people are saying these things consistently on social media, do this or we're going to do that, etc. And then when we saw, one of the campaign buses down in Texas being, trailed and almost pushed off the road, chances are, yes, there are going to be some things happening in some places. But like you said, Chat, businesses are preparing, businesses are closing up just for tomorrow and some the following day, at least in the morning, and at night. But the thing is, that's why we have to be diligent. And what we're doing, we have to be careful. People are doing all kinds of things to either A, protect themselves, and or B, to try to start and continue the unrest that we're already in. So yes, I do believe there may be something, but I'm praying that it's not. I'm not promoting it. This is not a promotion.
Right.
It's saying don't do it. It doesn't even make any sense because you're going to end up hurting yourselves probably, as well as perhaps some of your loved ones may even get hurt. So it's ridiculous. Why? We need us to start getting this thing back on track. Well, or on a new track.
That's right. Yes. Hopefully on a new track is what we're looking to do. That's all I want to say is just hopefully on a new track. Well, I do want to congratulate our fellow Americans. We actually broke the record. 93 million Americans early voted as of Sunday afternoon in the 2020 election. And this is on track for a historic level of voter turnout. So that's really great. 93 million Americans had voted by Sunday afternoon. So that's really a good thing. So that shows that people really do want to be involved in this process. It's just a matter of win, lose, or draw at this point.
Right. It is.
Yes.
And I think they're saying the percentage is about 70% of the voters from 2016 have voted early. So Can you imagine? People, people are getting out. They're serious. And I think what has happened is people have learned so much during this time about who we are as a country, not just on paper, but otherwise. So it's a lot going on.
Well, what is hurting my heart more than anything is our current president wanting to get rid of Dr. Fauci. And Dr. Fauci been telling us, listen, this is not, we get ready to go into some serious situations with this COVID, and we are seeing that now. With over 100,000 cases, 100,000 cases in one day. So I'm trying to figure out why would he want to say that about Fauci, and then the people behind him was cheering, get rid of Fauci. I wanted to say, y'all sit down,
Right. That's because that's what he is putting out there, has been putting out there for a long time. But I don't know if he officially or initially has the right to actually fire Dr. Fauci. If I'm not mistaken, I heard something about that. But we know, Dr. Fauci is the one that has been consistent with the information he has been giving us. But he's also a bit tired about, being poked on and poked at and talked about from 45.
Right. He's the president.
Yeah, the president. And this man has been in this position for decades. People call him, actually, the people in the medical profession, they call him the Michael Jordan of the medical profession.
Yes, I know. And here's the deal. How dare you insult my intelligence? How dare you insult my medical degree? And again, been doing this for ages, eons, way before you even thought about being a damn president.
Right. Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
unbelievable. Just unbelievable. All right.
Mhm.
Well, with that going on and with that being said, we've covered anything else with tomorrow's election that we can wait and cover tomorrow, or I mean, later on tonight.
We'll wait.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, congratulations to Mr. Byron Allen. I call Byron Allen the black man of all things media. His media group has recently purchased two over-the-air broadcast networks, This TV and Light TV. And this is an acquisition from MGM. Both networks broadcast 24-hour a day over the cable and online free television networks. And he is adding this to his repertoire of things. Byron Allen is a bad boy. He, you know, a lot of people used to joke about Byron Allen not being that funny and blah, 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 blah. Byron Allen is doing the doggone thing. He is, you know, the media mogul of all media moguls.
He is. And remember when he was having the lawsuit, when he was trying to have some stock and buy NBC,
right,
and be a part of that network so he can do some of his programming.
Yeah.
Kudos to him that he is continuously moving forward, and he will have a platform that is still large and people will be paying attention, especially during this time.
Okay, so now here are some of the things that are Byron Allen's products. The Weather Channel, Cars.tv, Comedy.tv, ES.tv, JusticeCentral.tv, MyDestination.tv, Pets.tv, and Recipes.tv. Those are just some of his many, many, many companies. And now he'll own both of those over the air networks as well, too.
Wow. And you said the Weather Channel?
The Weather Channel. Yes. You didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Yes. Yes. Byron Allen owns the Weather Channel. I think that was his latest pickup, not this time, but the last time he made the news. Byron Allen owns the Weather Channel. Isn't that interesting? Something that will never die or go out of style. The weather will be here every day. Right.
Exactly. We use it. The Weather Channel, we have apps for it. You know, like they said, there's an app for that, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow, that's amazing. That's good to know. Good to know. Pass on the word, everyone. The Weather
Congratulations to Byron Allen. A black man owns the Weather Channel. Hello. Right. It's raining men. Hallelujah. Yes. All right. Good. Well, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Monday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. That beautiful young lady next to me is our co-host extraordinaire, Miss Alicia L. Ross. She's hanging out with us tonight. Not only is she an educator, but she's a lifelong academician herself. Well, that's all right. We love it. The more you know, the more we know. Are you kidding me? We do. We love you for that. We love you for that. What we remind everybody every night, you know, we are in the middle of a pandemic. We're now in November. This all started in March. So we want to remind everyone to please wear your mask. Where's your mask, darling?
I have my mask.
All right, put your mask on. Yay. Mine says, let's gather at a distance.
Oh, I like that one. I still have some medical ones.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. We want to remind everybody to please wear your mask whenever you're out in public. Please wear your mask when you're around people you don't know. Just have your mask. It's always a good thing. Sanitize. Alicia made a great point about wash your hands. Soap and water is the number one thing that can help kill bacteria. So please wash your hands. Do 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippis, 3 Mississippis. And then, you know, rinse your hand. You can do more Mississippis if you want. If you don't have soap and water, remember, hand sanitizer is the best way to go. Just plop some of that bad boy in your hand. Do you have any hand sanitizer, honey? Hold your hands out. Hold your hands
And
out. Here, I'll give you a little. Lower your hand just a little bit. Okay, yeah, there you go. Oh, see there, see it. Make it look like I'm pouring a lot in your hand, right? Rub those hands together. There you go. Make sure you clean under your nails.
that's true.
Social distance is very important. Stand back, keep people up off of you. And if you're not feeling well, keep your ass at home. Easy, simple, does not cost you anything. If you call your job, I'm not feeling well, they'll tell you, well, they won't say keep your ass at home, but they'll say, okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Right,
I know you've used 80 sick days already this year, but don't worry about it. Don't come up in here. Don't
right.
bring your germs up in here. Right? Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right.
Even if you think it's just a cold, I was at a store recently, and I already wipe my things down with sanitary wipes when I get home, but she was sick. I don't know if it was a cold, etc. But the person that was waiting on me, she was sick. She was clearly sick, coughing and sneezing, and did not have on gloves as she was taking care of me. So I had my gloves. Whenever I go to the store, I wear at least one glove so I can maneuver with the other one and get into my pocket or my purse, right?
Okay. Yes.
But yeah, if you are sick, if you're not feeling well, I can imagine it's hard to take off as an essential worker, because in some of these stores like Walgreens, CVS, they're essential workers. They're the ones that have kept us going, right?
Right.
To a certain degree. We go in and we get the medicines and some of the toilet paper goods, etc. But we have to be cognizant. If you get sick, somebody else can get sick. So, and then you can't go back to work anyway right away. So we have to take care. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Well, you guys, please do what you can to curb this. We all know that, the holidays are right around the corner. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, New Year's, all of those are just not even 50 days away at this particular point. Well, for Christmas. And here we are, in the middle of something that we're not quite sure how it's actually transmitted. So we want to remind everyone to stay as safe as possible when it comes to helping to fight this virus. So yeah.
Yeah, it was, and I wanted to show, in Walgreens and CVS, they have these kids masks, and I'm sure in Target and if you shop online. So if your child, you need a mask, you can get a box of masks for your child as well.
Did you have trouble finding them?
No, I didn't. I actually, when you first walk into the Walgreens now, they automatically have masks for adults. They have masks for children. They have all kinds of, at least 3 different brands of sanitizer, hand sanitizer. They even have the thermometers, right?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah. They have the thermometers. I got one for myself. They range from inexpensive to, I guess, the most high-tech ones. But they have those things right there when you first walk in the door. They're somewhere on the shelf, wherever your Walgreens is, that you can purchase them. And it's not expensive.
No, it's not. It is not. All right. Very good. All right. Well, with that being said, make sure you guys stay very mindful. Also, take your vitamins, eat right, get plenty of exercise, do whatever is necessary to keep your immune system elevated and boost during this time of COVID-19, correct?
Yes. Please.
So what else has been going on with you?
Well, one of the things I was going to say is I actually learned how to make. I'm trying new recipes. I'm actually not looking online yet. I'm just coming up with things, going through some of the seasonings that I have. When I go to the supermarket, I say, okay, you know what? Tonight, I think I want it to be Moroccan night. So I got some Moroccan pepper sauce, something that I use. That I purchased and used, but it's a good time to try different recipes. So that's one of the things that I'm doing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, trying different recipes and trying to cook a little bit more.
And see,
Because
cooking for me now is such a waste because I don't know how to cook for one person.
okay.
Once I've had what I've had it. I maybe can do it as leftovers, maybe twice now. I've changed. I used to be the person who could eat the pot of spaghetti until it was gone. Now I can only eat it twice, and it's probably better for me now to almost I'll make a salad, eat that or something like. I mean, it's just weird. When I'm used to cooking for people and handing
Right.
out food, and now
Right.
it's just so it's give me. I'm good with like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich now.
Really?
I
Well,
know,
you
isn't that
can freeze
strange?
it. Yeah,
Uh,
just freeze it.
freeze
Just freeze
what?
the food.
Oh no. Oh
No,
no. That's why I hate you. Don't live closer. No, I'm not gonna
I
freeze it.
know.
No.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna
Mm-mm.
have to take a once a week trip and
Yes, you. I'm gonna be like, look, sis, come on down and get you some of this, and come on down and get you some of that.
right, with
Right,
my bag and everything.
right. So yeah. Mm-mm.
And you're the chef.
I
Like
know.
seriously, guys, remember he's the chef. He's on TV. He cooks.
I know. No, the chef. This pandemic has changed all of that. No,
Oh,
not that interested like that anymore. It's like, okay, yeah, no. Let me give me something easy, simple. I mean, I'll do ramen. I'll do an egg sandwich. I mean, right. I just no. It's not the same when you're not cooking for other people like that. My best friend, she cooks for other people, so she'll bring me food. So so I have great, takeout containers. But as far as no, it's not my thing
okay.
anymore. Yeah. So all
Maybe
right.
that's just temporary. That's just temporary.
Yeah. I guess. Well, we're waiting on our next guest, and as soon as our next guest pops in, we'll be able to continue and do what we need to do here. What else you got going on? Anything else we need to kind of bring up and talk about?
Well, some of the hot topics, for example, when we talk about the voting within, the popular culture, it's always been, I mean, they're just as human as we are. So they always have their thoughts and opinions and things of that nature. But there has been some interesting developments lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
With some of our pop culture folks.
Oh,
Um, yeah, and the thing about it, though, I want to note before we bring up their names, I want to note that their pop culture, and yeah, some of them have been around for a while, right?
uh-huh.
When we were, we came up, some of us came up at the same time, but they do not speak for us, for, one group of people. They don't speak for the whole African American community or the whole Black community within the diaspora at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they're sharing their thoughts, their opinions, and their views, okay, they're doing that. But one candidate or the other should not think that just because they're doing that, that they're speaking for the community at large within this country.
So I'm going to put the names out there of who you talking about. I'm gonna take this risk. First of all, it started off with Ice Cube, and
Yeah.
then it moved over to my cousin Fitty, and then
Yeah.
it went from my cousin Fitty to my boy Little Wayne, who I love Little Wayne's music, but then I can't believe Little Wayne is taking the stance that he's taking. And here's the crazy piece: Lil Wayne ain't trying to pay no taxes on all this moolah he done made. Maybe that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't understand it, because now I'm turned off by Little Wayne from just his political stance.
Yeah, and I think that is what has happened. And again, what Lil Wayne is 40, 50 Cent is 50 something. Ice Cube is in his late 40s, if not 50 already. So, these are people who have been making money for some time with it, whether it was through music initially and then other ventures, as well as movies like with Ice Cube, and then TV shows, and movies as well as 50 Cent. So I think what they're thinking and what they're trying to project is because they have made this income over the years and they have a certain financial status, they believe that, supporting 45 would help them because of perhaps his tax laws and views. But what they're not realizing, that when it comes down to it, it's not really helping them, because we still have the other pandemic that we've been dealing with for centuries, and that is racism.
Yes.
In addition to the fact that they're Black men, so they're not going to necessarily get all the breaks, tax write-offs, etc., that they think they can. Of course, they'll have to work for it. And yes, we also have a classist society to a certain degree, and that is what they're banking on, and that's what all this taxes, these tax laws are about. But I think I believe they should have consulted the elders within their community.
Girl, who the hell would be Lil Wayne's elder? Like who?
His elder, what I mean, the celebrity elders. You got,
and again, what?
They're not going to listen to them. But the fact of the matter is, the way I felt, I was like, where's their grandmama? They need to go get them. Sat them down. But the thing is, but what I mean is actually the celebrity elders, because they spoke out of context, which is why when 50 Cent, he saw Lil Wayne's picture and he said he wouldn't have taken a picture like that. And so now all of a sudden he's backtracking. Meanwhile, just recently he said if Trump doesn't win, he's leaving the country. And, street terms, I'd say, okay, boy, bye. But the other thing,
bye.
And the other thing, we know publicly he's had financial issues, etc., supposedly, but he's doing great with his shows. I wish they would have kept their opinions to themselves, amongst themselves, but not come out and try to show that they have support for this person because they think that he is going to support him. We have seen throughout the months, the recent weeks, the recent months, that it doesn't seem like he supports us. Yes, we understand about the prison reform or the crime reform bills, etc. But the other thing is, I wish we can take those records off of the shelf where all, some of these rappers back in the day, were saying they want to be like Trump this and want like Trump that. When they were saying that, Trump was probably going through his second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth bankruptcy. Yep. Nothing against bankruptcies if you're doing it because you have to. But if you're doing it because of other reasons and you have about 10 bankruptcies under your belt, why are you glorifying someone like that? Yeah. I'm sorry, that was just my 2 cents.
No, I got you. Well, your 2 cents is worth something tonight, because again, we're talking about this is election day eve. People have got to make a critical decision. Even though we've had millions and millions to vote so far, there are still people who have got to get up tomorrow and go cast a vote and make a difference. And so we'll talk more about that after we talk to our guests. Well, November is National wait a minute, I almost forgot what I was getting ready to say. I got thrown off because what you just said made a lot of sense, but let me rethink about it. So November is National Thankfulness Month. It is actually to be thankful for what you have, who you are. It's all about humility. And so the entire month of November here on the show, we're going to talk to people who are really thankful for the life that they had before, but they're thankful for the person that they've become. And so our first guest this evening, in honor of November being that month of gratitude and Thanksgiving, we'd like to introduce you to entrepreneur, philanthropist, and community involvement agent. This man has been doing pop-up entertainment here in the state of Illinois. He has a lot of other great things we're going to talk about. He came from a very adverse background only to succeed in this world. He is the president and CEO of 360 Global Marketing and PR. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Percy Scott. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
Good, good. Welcome to the show this evening. Alicia L. Ross is our co-host tonight.
How are you, Mr. Ross?
Good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you as well.
It's a pleasure to have you here tonight. November is the month of gratitude and Thanksgiving. And each and every show during the month of November, we want to talk to people about just how grateful you are, how much Thanksgiving is in your heart. What I try to focus on is a lot of our guests have come from backgrounds and beginnings that people just would not believe, but yet you were able to rise and flourish through whatever the adversities that were put in front of you. And so it's an honor and pleasure to have you as our first guest this evening. Introduce yourself, tell everybody about you, and then we're going to get all in your business.
Okay. My name is Percy Scott. As you mentioned, I am the president CEO of Global 360 Marketing. I am also the executive director for Chamber 57, and I am the partner of PR Pop-Ups, which, as you mentioned, is one of the first African-American pop-up movie, theater, and concerts due to COVID. So I've been blessed to endure a lot, and I'm sure you're going to talk about that, but I've just been truly blessed to be able to serve in a lot of different capacities.
Very good. Well, it's an honor to have you here tonight. We're going to talk about it all. I want to talk about your early childhood. As I was reading your bio and some of the information, you were raised by blind parents, and your mom ended up having to raise you on her own when you turned 5. So first of all, I commend you just, having two parents that have a disability. I being a spokesperson for the ADA 25, ambassador and fellow, I just think that's noble. And so can you tell us a little bit about your early years?
Yeah, my parents met actually at the Lighthouse of the Blind. And so when they met, they fell in love, got married. And when I was born, everything was great. When I was 5, they got into some turmoil. They decided to divorce. So my father moved to Chicago, and me and my mother stayed in Raleigh. And so obviously that was devastating for me. I had to become the man of the house. My mother being 100% blind, I was 5 years old, didn't know what to do. Thankfully, I had a strong family of support from my mother's family and also from my church family. My mother made sure that I was raised in the church. And so that's the one thing that she's always instilled in me. Even though she couldn't see, she always gave me a vision on how to navigate through life, because that's kind of how she had to do it, through faith. And so God has always touched her life, good or bad, indifferent. God has been with her. And because of the foundation she gave me, God has blessed me as well. So I knew from an early age that my present situation wasn't where I wanted to be. So a lot of times people, can complain about not having water, running in the house, not being able to use a bathroom or take a shower like normal people do. But I saw it as motivation. I saw it as a way that, nothing was going to stop whatever I was trying to do. Throughout high school, I got good at football. I was really good at sports, and I put my life into it. They always say, it's nothing when a person who has nothing to lose. And because of the influence I had, because of the God-given ability I had, the drug dealers in the community actually supported me. A lot of times people think about the gang members nowadays, or back in the day, if they saw you were doing something good, they kept you away from the trouble. They made sure that you were on the right path. And so even though I was born in a city where you had to pick a gang, I didn't have to do anything because I was looked upon as an athlete. And so I got a full scholarship to go to Illinois State University. The one time my mother got to come to one of my games, I got hurt. And so she never came again. And so I decided to play my hardest out. So even if she couldn't see me, that she could hear about me, that she can hear other people talking about me, that she can see me on TV. And God was able to bless me to be able to do that. I played in the Arena League for 3 years. I won a Gold Cup championship. We won 17-0. So my mother was able to hear and see me play. So that was just a blessing and all that I've had. So even through all of that, I've just had to fight. I went to, as I said, I graduated from Illinois State and I started working at State Farm. I'm the kind of guy who I love to have a good time. Anybody who knows me know I love to party. I love to dance. I'm a member of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. And as a member of Iota Phi Theta, I was always like the host of the party. And so I took that and became, I ran with it. I was an industrial technology major, geology minor, but I started a marketing company right out of school. We started doing comedy shows and concerts. Damon Williams was one of our very first hosts back in the day.
Was this down in Bloomington?
Yes, sir.
They starving for entertainment in Bloomington. I went to ISU and lived in Bloomington for a number of years.
Okay.
So you were the it man if you brought any type of entertainment to Bloomington. Yes.
Yeah. So in doing so, I also worked at State Farm, and I was doing so well playing football in the Arena League that I left State Farm, started doing my entertainment and football. I got hurt and retired. I figured if I wasn't going to the NFL, that I wanted to make a living. I was making a lot of money doing comedy shows and concerts. Well, you remember 9/11 hit. I was devastated. Everyone thought in Bloomington that they were going to blow State Farm up, so people wouldn't go out. People wouldn't come to comedy shows. So I came up with this big dream that I'm going to make everything okay. So I'm going to throw this big family fun festival. I'm going to have the Jesse White Company come down. I'm going to have all of these roller coasters and magicians. And I had $50,000 saved up from all the things that I worked for. I was 23 years old, coming from where I came from. I never had that kind of money in my life. I invested it all to have this big family fun festival. I didn't know anything about sponsorship. I didn't know anything about insurance, and it rained the entire day. I was expecting 3,000 people. I got 200. I lost $50,000 in one day. I was broke. That new Escalade that I had was repossessed. That nice apartment I had with the 2 floor-model TVs was gone. The apartment I couldn't afford to pay for anymore, so I had to move back with my mother in Harvey at 24 years old. Now, after going all over the world, seeing the world, doing everything, I was back in Harvey, living with my mother. And so I started on the ground level. I worked for this company called Jeff Scott and Associates. It's a company, you guys probably remember the guys that used to go around with the bags selling goods out of it, like in the barbershops and stuff. We sell books and toys from the NFL, NBA, Warner Brothers. I did that for 3 years, became a trainer, became a marketer, became a general manager, and then I was able to open up my own franchise in Davenport, Iowa. And that's when, right before I met my wife, me and my wife got married and moved to Davenport, Iowa.
Wow.
Davenport, Iowa is like, I'm sorry, I know I'm long-winded, but I got a story.
No, you fine, because I'm thinking from Bloomington to Davenport, you still ain't made it to the big city yet.
No.
Okay.
So moved to Davenport was like Mayberry. Everything there was like 5 years old. There was nothing there but restaurants, casinos, and churches. And so me and my wife just went to church every week and went to the movies. And so I was going crazy in Davenport. We couldn't take it. Davenport, the Quad Cities, was kind of like the haves and the have-nots. Either you were really, really poor or you were really, really rich.
Yeah.
And we were neither. We were kind of in the middle. And so we just didn't fit in anywhere. Like when we first moved down there, they put us in the heart of Davenport, and within the first 6 months, somebody got shot right next door to me. I was like, I didn't come to Davenport to be killed from Chicago. So I moved to Bettendorf my second year there, and we stayed in a condo in a golf course with a lot of old, elderly white folks, and we just couldn't relate to nobody. It was just two totally different worlds. And so I was visiting one of my friends. You may know him, Kennard Carter,
Yeah.
who was the music director at WGCI.
Yeah.
Him and I played football together. We were in each other's weddings, the whole nine. I was visiting him to see how he was doing. He was like, "You should be an account executive." I had no idea what that was. I never knew really anything about radio. He was like, "The way that your personality, you'll do really good." And so I went on an interview. They told me I can make a whole lot of money and I can have fun doing concerts and stuff that I love doing. So I closed my office down. I started working at Clear Channel the next month. I did Clear Channel for 5 years. I became the #1 account executive out of 70 reps in new business. My goal was simply to help as many small businesses as possible. And one of the things I didn't like about radio was that the small business owners always got the short end of the stick. If a McDonald's or the big companies, they give $1 million, the rates for their commercials are $50, $100 per commercial. But a small business, they're paying $500. I didn't like that. It wasn't fair. And it was my job to make sure the small businesses stayed active and stayed prosperous. And so I would give them the same rates that they gave McDonald's. And that's how I became the #1 rep. I made sure that my small businesses made money. Well, talking about trials and tribulations, one of my clients had a credit, a $400 credit. Now, at the time, I was making over $100,000. My client had a $400 credit, and one of my other clients wanted some sponsorship for a Mary J. Blige concert. Mm-hmm. I called the client and said, "Hey, I got somebody that's doing a Mary J. Blige concert. Can they use your credit? And we can put your name on a step and repeat. It'll be real nice. They'll look out for you." He was like, "Absolutely." On radio, you got to have the logs in by 2:00. He wasn't able to sign the contract. He told me to sign the contract. I signed the contract. A person that didn't like me at the station because I was doing so well told my manager that I forged his signature. 2 hours later, I'm in the HR's office and I get fired for a $400 contract that was a credit that I would have made $40 off of, and I'm making $120,000 at the time. Now, with that being said, my wife is 8 months pregnant, and we close on our house in Flossmoor the next day. I had to go into the closing without a job. Obviously, we didn't get to the house. And, things were rough. So the very next day after I left the closing, I called every new business that I had. I told them that I was going to start with another agency. I called the agency, told them that if they allowed me to work for them, I would give them 10% of everything I made, and they wouldn't have to do anything but sign my checks. They agreed to do it. I called 15 clients, and they all agreed to come over with me. And so in doing so, I got a 5% raise, because in radio, you get 10% commission, but as an agency, you get 15%. Right. And so by getting fired, I got a raise by going to another company. And so I've never looked back. I learned a little bit from that company. And then in 2012, I started my own agency. Nice. And I've been giving and serving ever since.
I love it. I really do. I think that's the testimony and stories that we want to hear. That's you get what I'm saying? Because so many of us, I've been in that situation. You know, Alicia, I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but when you turn that adversity into a winning situation, that's what we need to hear, these type of stories. At any particular point, Percy, did you ever feel as if the end was near, or what was that one thing that kept you believing I could keep moving on?
So the biggest time in my life that I felt the end was near was A, when I lost everything, and then B, when I got fired for about 1 hour. When you work for corporate America, they make you feel like you just have to stay. And if you leave, the world's going to come to an end because you can't do anything without them. And then I just realized, and, it's funny. I always think back to my mother. If my mother could have raised me and raised my brothers blind, I don't have any excuse at all. And so if it's not going to kill me, it's only going to make me stronger. And so I always look to my mother's resilience, her strength, and most of all, her prayers and encouragement. And so when I felt like I couldn't do anymore. I just thought about her. And that just gave me enough strength to say, stop feeling sorry for yourself. As long as you got hands and eyes to talk, then you can always make it. And so I feel like that Jay-Z comment, and, throw me anywhere on God's green earth, I'm going to triple my work. And that's just because of the God who is inside of me.
I love it. Alicia, anything you want to say to our guest tonight?
I'm just amazed by your story and what, like you said, your resiliency. And I can only imagine that is what you have from your mom. She gave you that. And actually, just kind of one question, you mentioned your siblings. So your mother raised you and how many children?
So I have 2 younger brothers. So my next brother is 9 years younger than me. So when I was 9, she had him. And then my cousin, when I was 12 years old, she was 18. No, I'm sorry. When I was 21, she was 18. She passed away. And so my mother adopted my little cousin. And so he became my brother because, you live in my house, your family, you closer than family. And so I have a blood brother and adopted brother who's now 24. But she raised us all. And I don't know how she did it, to be honest with you.
Wow, that is amazing. That shows so much strength and just things many of us can't even imagine that your mom had. And so therefore, I know and can only imagine and hear that what you're doing is nothing but divine purpose.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about your pivot during COVID. Things have changed for us all. I used to be on traditional radio, and now I pivot to this and love it and think it's wonderful. What are some of the things that you've created during this time period to help keep the world entertained? Because really, you are Mr. Entertainment, and trying to keep people entertained is not easy during this time. But what have you learned from this, and what have you implemented?
So one thing that I've learned is that you have to be creative. I think that COVID only provided opportunity, especially for African Americans. A lot of us were comfortable in doing what we were currently doing, status quo, and COVID kind of woke us up and said, hey, you may need to do something else. But I think that's the beautiful about African Americans. We can take, the intestines of a pig and make it a gourmet meal.
Ooh, shut up with some hot sauce, coleslaw, and spaghetti. I'm sorry. Okay.
Absolutely.
Talking about. See, I knew what you was talking about. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you can, the way we were looking at it, I was just talking to some of my business partners, and we're a full service media agency. So we do media placement, buying, radio, TV, billboards. We do PR, we do websites, social media, all of those things. And events were a big part of that. And obviously the concerts stopped, the theaters and things of that nature stopped. The conferences stopped. And so we were just thinking, how can we think out of the box and get people a way to be entertained, but safely? Because obviously everyone's safety is the most important thing to us. And one of the things I remember that my Uncle Ted used to do is take us to the drive-in when we were little. And I was like, I wonder if we could do a drive-in. And it's funny, we talked about it. I was actually working for the city of Harvey, and I was talking to the mayor, and I told him, I was having thoughts about doing a drive-in and what he thought about it. And he was like, he was open to the idea, but he said, give me a proposition that I can't say no to. And so me and my partner did our research literally in 24 hours. We did our research. We found a company that had a screen. We bought the screen. We found a space in Harvey that the city already owned. And then we did the advertising. He gave us his approval. We got the movie. We did the advertising on a Friday night for a Saturday show. Between Friday and Saturday, we put it on Facebook. We had over 350,000 views. We had over like 700 engagements, and it was good and bad. It was funny because people were saying, you're doing it in Harvey. It's a death trap. Why y'all doing it in Harvey? Do it somewhere else. And there was, another permanent drive-in that was going on in McHenry. It was like, why can't McHenry have it and Harvey King have it. If we present the right product, if we put it and do it the right way in excellence, there's not going to be any problems. And that's what we did. We did it in Harvey for a month straight. It was packed. We played Purple Rain. We played Friday. We had all the old school movies out, and everybody had a great time. We made all the Harvey residents, got in for free. The first responders were able to come out for free to enjoy it, and it was safe. There was never any issues. It got so big that the mayor of Hazel Crest asked us to come to Hazel Crest and do the same thing. So when we got to Hazel Crest, we found a space called Cross Point Park. It was literally a field. And we brought the idea to them. We told them not only are we going to do movies, but we want to do concerts. And so we were able to, between me and my partner, Rita Lee, we put together a festival where we did 3 nights of entertainment. We did the Chosen Few DJs house party on Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
We brought the baby out on Saturday and DJ Drama. And then on Sunday, we brought Kiki Wyatt and Charles Jenkins for Sunday inspiration. And then we even had Jennifer Hudson pop up on us on Sunday evening. And so we had 3 days of entertainment, and we've just been truly blessed that people have responded. We've gotten a bunch of write-ups and things like that from all over the country. Even to the fact right now, we've just got some sponsorships that not only want us to do it here in Chicago, but they're looking for us to do it all over the country. So we're putting together a schedule right now to take PR pop-ups on the road to the hot cities, during the winter months. So in December and January, we'll be in Vegas, we'll be in Miami, we'll be in Dallas. So we're going all over the country right now, trying to make sure that people are still having fun, but yet safe.
Because what people don't realize is this is going nowhere. This is going to be here for a minute. This is not, even though our current president talking about poof is gone. I don't know what the hell he's smoking, but I'm not getting that. And so you're very wise in doing this. And as the weather is warmer in other places, set them up there. So no, I think this is an excellent idea. And then I now know who I get my VIP passes from. Aha.
There you go. I got you.
There you go. So out of all the things that you've been through, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, what words of advice and comfort would you want to give to this audience? A, with this being election eve, and B, not knowing where this country may end up in the next 48 hours. What words of advice and wisdom would you want to give to these people?
Perseverance. Through it all, perseverance. I think that we've been through a crazy 4 years. I think that, Trump's election has allowed a couple of things to happen. The truth, how people truly feel, they've been truly able to express how they really feel, and it'd be okay. And so I kind of applaud knowing, how people truly feel about me and how they feel about things, because a lot of times, people would have it, behind closed doors. Now they feel emboldened to just say what they want to say, do what they want to do. And so now you really know who your friends are. You really know who your friends aren't. And so perseverance is the number one thing I'll say, because, we're all struggling. We're all having a hard time, during this time. We're all trying to be creative. We're all trying to, work together. I think this is a great time for African Americans to really unapologetically say, I'm going to support another Black person. The reason why is because everyone else supports their own. We're the only community that never supports our own, to the extent that we help people scale. There's a difference between helping a small business stay open and then helping a small business become a large business. And that's what we don't do. And so perseverance and working together is the most important things that I'm focused on. That's why I'm adamant about working with the Chamber of Commerce. As I mentioned, I'm the executive director of Chamber 57. And we're working right now with Black contractors who, haven't been allowed to do any of it. I'm sure you heard Amazon is all over the place right now, but they're putting up all of these buildings and not one Black contractor is on any of these buildings.
Oh, no.
And so we're working with the Black contractors right now to demand that Amazon makes a commitment to put a minimum of 10%, 15% Black contractors on these projects. I mean, they're building multi-million dollar buildings in Markham and Matteson and University Park and Pullman. Not one Black contractor. It's unacceptable. And so even though, we've come a long way, we got a long way to go. And so my foot is still to the fire and making people accountable. Just because I made it don't mean, you just look back and hope. No, we got to all come back and pull people. I always remember where I come from. I always remember that Robbins raised me. And so I'm going to make sure that I give back every chance I can. And so with that being said, I got one more thing for you. If people haven't heard about the big grant, a lot of businesses have lost money due to COVID. There's a grant called the Big Interruption Grant. And you can go to the illinois.gov/DCEO, illinois.gov/DCEO. That grant is for $5,000 to $150,000 for small businesses that make less than $20 million. I'm sure a lot of our businesses make less than $20 million.
Than what?
$20 million.
Oh, so that means everybody and their damn mama need to apply for this. Yes. Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. And I want everybody to apply. We'll even our chamber, you can call me directly. We'll even help you with the application. It's very simple. It takes 15 minutes, but they're looking for minority business owners to apply for this statewide grant. And it's a grant. You don't have to pay it back. It's not like those loans from before. This is a grant set aside specifically for small businesses. And they're especially looking for minority-owned businesses. So please help me spread the word about this grant. It's called the Business Interruption Grant Program.
Is there a deadline on them applying for this grant?
The grant ends at the end of December. So we have time, but we don't have time.
Okay.
So you want people, so it's at the end of December.
Remind us, or just come back and do a whole nother segment about it. That would be great as well, too. We can make
absolutely.
That. Yeah,
absolutely.
That would be
but
great.
There's about $200 million available from this grant. $200 million set aside for the South suburbs in Cook County. So please, 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 if you know anybody, if anybody's listening, please share this. Apply for the big grant. You can go to www.illinois.gov/D as in dog, C as in cat, E as in Edward, O as in operation, and apply for that grant.
Did you write that down, Madam Alicia? Did you write it down?
Writing it down. I'm writing it down.
All right, put it in the inbox, and I'll make sure I put it across the screen, and we'll have to have him back on to talk about this because I might eventually get my strip club out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been trying to get me a pink up here in Illinois. So I mean, we'll see.
And that is a question I have. Is the money for existing businesses only or new businesses as well?
It's for existing businesses. So businesses that it helps offset, the revenue losses that they had, payroll costs, rent, other working capital, utilities. But also if you had to expand your business due to COVID, you also qualify as well. So there's some businesses who may have just started in January. Those businesses still qualify as well. So you can just show kind of your statements from January and February to see how it's been affected from March until now.
Wow.
So we encourage everybody to apply and make them tell you no, as opposed to use,
that's right. That's right.
Apply and let them tell you no.
That's right. Now more than ever, apply.
Absolutely.
And let them tell you no. And you'd be surprised. It may not necessarily be no all the time. So
correct.
You just don't know. Well, Percy, this has been truly amazing having you here with us this evening. Give everybody your website. You have an open invitation to come back and hang out with us anytime. Keep me posted on your upcoming events. I just hate the weather is changing right now for us here. But if you're getting ready to do this on a national level, we can tell people in other cities who watch and listen to the show as well, too.
Sure, absolutely. My website, I have two websites. One is global360marketing.com, global360marketing.com. That's for all of our PR, web, and media clients. For our entertainment, our website is prpopups.com, prpopups.com. And you can reach us on social media at PR Pop-Ups as well as Global 360 Marketing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
PR Pop-Ups, POPUPS.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go.
We are finishing up our schedule now, and as soon as it's approved, we will have it up on our site beginning the end of this week.
There we go. All right. Anything else, Madam Alicia, before we let our guests go this evening?
No, thank you for the information. It's impressive. And I look forward to being a part of some of those events next summer when we open up a little more. And I don't mind a VIP pass either, if you don't mind.
I got you. I definitely take care of you.
We have to tell him what the secret is. She and I met at a Ravinia concert last year, Percy.
Wow.
I was enjoying the Mary J. Blige concert. She and one of her colleagues, they came, and they were so late coming to the concert that I said, "Oh, these nice ladies must work here or something," because they come in and was setting up, and I turned around and started joking with them like, "Well, dang, did they, they let y'all out the office or something to come out and enjoy the concert?" But
Mary decided not to continue to perform.
So that's how we met at a Mary J. Blige concert. And she's right. Mary got out there, did what she had to do, and took it on home. Mary, look, Ravinia closed it up by a certain time anyway.
Right. I love Ravinia. We tried to emulate some of that feel of Ravinia at the Cross Point Park. We actually had 2 people this summer get engaged at the theater.
Nice.
So it was really, really cool. Really cool.
And it's stories like that I love to bring to the forefront of our audience. So things like that, when they happen, let me know as well too, because that's really nice. Because our stories like that don't get enough media coverage.
That's very true.
Yes. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Percy Scott, the president and CEO of 360 Global Marketing and PR,
Global 360 Marketing. I'm sorry.
Global 360. Thank you. Global 360. See, I thought it was 360 Global, which 360 is global. It's round, but Global 360 Marketing and PR. Forgive me, sir. Thank you so much for that. Ms. Ross, anything you want to say?
Thank you so much for sharing the information, and I will be passing on your websites as well as, of course, this grant information. Look forward to learning more about it too.
At any time you have any other information for us, let us know.
I sure will, and I appreciate you all having me on. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you again. Great job. The information is up there for the grant. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. You have a good one.
All right, have a good night. Thank you again. That was great. That was outstanding. He did an excellent job, didn't he? Yay! That's the man, Percy Scott. He did it. He did a great job. That was really, really good. I learned a lot from it, huh?
Yeah, I learned a lot also. I was just saying some great information. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people that did not know about that grant, especially.
No, and that really is helpful. That is super, super helpful. I don't know if they'll let me open a strip club with the money or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
I don't know now. It's entertainment. It's therapeutic. I would have geriatric strippers. I'd have a variety. It wouldn't just be one stop. It would be a little of everything. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Well, during Corona, it would have to be a peekaboo show. So
yes, it could be. It could start off like that. It really could. It could be a peekaboo show. It could be. Yes, it did. Yes, absolutely. All right, let me put this on the screen for you guys. She put it up there for us. Illinois.gov/DCEO is where you guys need to go and get that information. Please apply for that. Hey, Renee put it out there. Hold on, let me put it back up on the screen. This was excellent tonight. There we go, right there on the screen. Perfect. So make sure you guys apply for that and grab all of that money. All right, that's the way to do it. All right, very good. All right, boy, this has been a good show so far this evening. So we're now to remind, oh, here's the deal. There will be no show tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is election evening. So we're going to let you guys watch the results come in. Quite a few. You'll be drinking, overeating, all of that. And we don't want you guys to be stressed out and worried about what the outcome will be. Are you nervous and worried about tomorrow?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. You should have seen me when I went to put in. First of all, I had the ballot filled out and in an envelope, right? And prior to going, I would drive by and I would see the line. I'm like, oh, I'm not going. I'll just wait. Let me make a plan, right? Because I had not made my plan. I didn't do the this, that, and the other. So when I finally got there, I'm standing in line, not realizing that I could just walk up and drop into the drop box. So I'm standing there. It was inside, so I wasn't standing outside at that point. Then I see someone come in with their envelope. I'm like, oh, I have an envelope like that. So then I get out of line and I go and talk with someone, who is inside working. And I said, I can just drop this, right? And she said, yeah, you didn't have to stand in line. Then she looks at my envelope. And she says, but you have the wrong envelope. Do you have the other one that came? Right. And I'm like, oh gosh, oh no, what am I doing? Like, that's what's going on inside. And it must have come out because she was like, don't worry, you got it. It's all right. I said, that's right, I do have it right here.
Did you have a meltdown at the polling place? Did you?
So then I went out and I'm like, I'm not licking this envelope, right? And I said, well, let me just go to the water fountain. Hello.
No water fountain.
It's working.
Right.
Anymore. So then I was like, oh, I'll go to the bathroom. And right next to the water fountain was a bathroom. And I was about to walk into the men's bathroom. It was a mess. I'm like, why am I so nervous? I was a hot mess, but I got it in.
Yay! That's what I wanted to hear. See, I was like, Father God, please don't let her say, well, no, I changed my mind. I didn't vote. I brought it back home. Okay, so you did vote. Yes, thank you, little baby Jesus. Yes. Yes, because if you hadn't voted, I would have dotted your eyes out right on this screen. I would have been just like, yeah, no, okay. Well, we want to encourage everyone to get up tomorrow if you've not voted yet, and please go vote. Polls open at 6 a.m. in the morning and they close at 7 p.m. Central Time. If you are in line at 7 p.m., they have got to let you vote. Don't forget that tomorrow, the United Center is a super station. So you can go there and vote if you need to. No matter where you live in the city, you can go vote, but your voting will take place in your precinct at your poll tomorrow. Don't forget that Lyft is offering a $10 coupon if you need a ride to your polling place. They'll give you a $10 credit to get you to the polling place. White Castle is giving any employee that works tomorrow 4 hours off in the morning to be able to go vote. So there's no excuse and no reason not to vote tomorrow. It is imperative that we all vote. Now, wonder how long it's going to take for us to know the results. We're supposed to know everything by 10 p.m. tomorrow night. But for some reason, I got a feeling it's going to be a lot of drama tomorrow.
There is going to be a lot of drama. There's already a lot of drama. One of the candidates is already predicting that he's going to cause drama and call the election before the ballots. But, to a certain degree, we've been here before. The votes are not, we get a result by 10 p.m., but we all know, in recent elections in particular, that there are other votes that come in and sometimes things change. Remember, Gore, when he gave in, then he came back and said, no, wait a second, let's keep counting the votes, So we've had somewhat of an experience like this before, but of course, nothing to this level. So no, I don't think everything is going to be, we won't have all the votes, but we'll have enough. I think now, today, it's reported probably 1 million now 1 million early votes are in. That's over 70% of the people who voted back in 2016.
Right.
So we already have 1 million votes in. So people have been going out and as we would call it, you know, when we had when we were doing the campaigning, rock the vote, right? So people have been rocking the vote for a couple of weeks now. So I believe that there will be some drama. I believe that we will not have, obviously we're not going to have all the votes in, but we will have some kind of an answer by 10 p.m. tomorrow night.
Yes, we will. Win, lose, or draw. So when we come back on Wednesday night, we're going to have a group of people here. We're going to talk about the outcome, whether good or bad or indifferent. We'll have a full show on Wednesday night to recap everything that happened tomorrow night, which is election day. And then I don't know. I'm just going to rest. I'm going to spend the entire day tomorrow returning emails, resting. Another thing that people need to do, stop letting social media drive you crazy during this process in the next 24 hours, because you'll be seeing, hearing a lot of things, media as well as social media.
Right. Yeah. There's already a lot of stuff going on. We've got to just make sure we're focused. I'm not even sure I'm going to watch it tomorrow night. I'm not sure.
Let it happen. Let it unfold.
Yeah, I think I need to let it unfold because, I mean, even right now as we're talking about it, I'm getting a little crank in my neck. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Little.
Right, little.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't.
Yes, I get it. I do. Any words of encouragement you want to give the world tonight so that they can sleep better?
I do, you know, this will pass at some point. And that is the hope I believe that everyone should have internally. But at the same time, as we were talking, how this is the month of Thanksgiving. And it is important that maybe start practicing every day what you're grateful for, even if it's just grateful for not just waking up, of course, healthy, but being able to eat something. If you don't have, you know, anything extensive, you have something in your refrigerator, and have a refrigerator. Whatever it is that you're grateful for, write down at least 3 to 5 things every day, every morning and or every night that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. You can be grateful for the fact that if you live in a colder environment, that you have a coat, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a scarf, you have shoes to wear. But be encouraged that at some point this pandemic will end. At some point, you will be getting along better with your neighbors amidst the other pandemic that's been going on all this time. And just be encouraged that things can and will change. And you have to start with yourself and just resting and being at peace and realizing that if there are the things that you can't change, you cannot worry about it. You cannot worry about it. So you have to just sleep and sleep well, knowing that whatever you can change, you work at that. Whatever you can't, you don't worry about it. Right. The other thing I noticed, you know, as we were talking with and Percy Scott was talking, there are a lot of people that have started businesses, great or small, because we realize that we have to be resourceful during this time. So take advantage. Think about what is it that you've always wanted to start that you can possibly start during this time, whether you have to start on a smaller scale or you can actually go on a larger scale. Think about your network and that your network is your net worth. And remember, everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something to give. So take the time to meditate, to pray, and go within to figure out what is this that I can offer to others. And at the same time, I will benefit financially.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. The big pivot is what 2020 has been all about, the big pivot. And so, yes. All right. Well, with that being said, I guess we can bring this show to an end tonight. It's been a wonderful Monday evening. I'm so glad to see you. You look well. Uh, uh,
Thank you.
you're not letting the COVID fatigue get the best of you. Have you extended doing any more things socially, or is it still just the supermarket and the drugstore and that's it?
You know me, I am not partying. I refuse. I recently, I noticed, where was I? I was somewhere and I was able to buy a box of cards for like $2 that said thank you. And I was thinking, I'm going to give those cards to the Walgreens ladies, to the supermarket
Oh,
people.
nice. Yes.
Me, kind of a consistent and in the quote unquote norm. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But nothing, no, I have all the projects that I'm working on.
Yes.
So that has kept me busy, and just keeping in contact with my loved ones and seeing them every now and then as well.
Yes. Oh, wow. Yes. Well, really sad in so many different ways that we have to live like this now. But then, as long as we can keep showing each other love and respect and doing the right things, and it'll all, I guess, pan out. But we're still caught up in this lockdown, Oh, did I lose you? Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Hello? Uh-oh. All right, darling. Well, you're froze. Let me see. Did I lose you? All right. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of yet another amazing show. Hopefully you guys have had a great time tonight. Want to remind you guys to please get up and go vote tomorrow. If you've not done so yet, please go vote. We'll be back on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. to give you the entire rundown of the election results. Will it be Golden Bitons? Will it be Golden Bitons? Or will it be Lucky Trumps? We'll see. I love you guys so very much. Thank you all for tonight's show. This was a great show. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you Wednesday night. Make sure you guys go vote, okay? Do what's right. Go vote. Encourage other people to vote. God bless. See you later. Go to therealchatdaddy.com for more information about yours truly. I'll see you guys. Have